guys, what's going on? My name's Akil and welcome to the final video of 2018 for me, guys. Yes, I just want to say for those of you guys who have watched my videos ever since I started YouTube back in 2017, like midway through 2017. In fact, I actually had an old channel, but that was kind of trial and error channel to see like what would I do, what I shouldn't do, and all the type of stuff. But anyway, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching my videos, for those of you who have been with me from the start, and I know there's not a lot of you, but I just still want to say thanks to you guys. So anyway, today I'm going to do a special video, as the title says, count down my top 10 favorite movies of 2018. Well, it's not really my favorite, but it's kind of the best movie of 2018 in my opinion. So yeah, but I just want to tell you guys something. This is my opinion, and I never saw every movie this year. That is basically just going to be blockbusters, so no dramas, unfortunately. But there are one or two small movies on this list, so yeah. But majority of these movies are universally loved, guys. So yeah. But there might be one or two that you will be surprised actually make it onto this list, guys. Yeah. So to start off with, I got an honorable mention, and that movie is The Darkest Hour, guys. Yes. Now I know what you're thinking. Akil, this movie gave Gary Oldman an award for Best Actor. Why is this your honorable mention? And Akil, didn't this movie come out last year? Yes, I know it did, but it came out this year, 2018, January, at the start of the year, in fact, for us in Australia. So that's why it's on this list. I saw it at the start of the year. This was actually my first formal movie review that I did. I know Pirates of the Caribbean is kind of the very first one I did, but for a movie that like is very new, I got a chance to see it, and that was the very first one I did for my channel, for this channel, in fact. Yeah, but the reason why this is an honorable mention is just because for me personally, I didn't find it as investing as I thought I would, but it was a very informative movie experience, and Gary Oldman is probably the best part of this movie. He's fantastic. He definitely deserved this award for Best Actor. Everyone else is great. Lily James, right? I believe, not Lily Collins or someone else. Lily James, and the person who plays his wife is great. Ben Mendelsohn, I believe he's also in this movie, right? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. He's great too. Everyone's great in this movie. I absolutely loved Gary Oldman's performance. He was probably the best part of this movie. So therefore, that's why it's an honorable mention. Darkest Hour is a film, if you are a fan of dramas, biopics, it's just a great, it's just a really good biopic, but it's not a great film. I just thought it was good in general, so yeah. But now comes down to my actual list, guys. So starting off with, at number 10 is Alpha. This is a movie that probably flew under many people's radar, I myself included, but I actually enjoyed myself watching this movie. The main reason why I enjoyed it is just because of the bond between the main character and the wolf, which is not a dog, he's kind of a wolf. And the trailers did show that it was kind of spawning the relationship between man and man's best friend, aka a dog, and you can kind of see why. I don't know if this is actually what it's supposed to be about, but if it is, they did a damn good job capturing, the essence of, being with an animal and spending quite some quality time with it, getting to know them, getting to know the animal and all that. And the stuff they do in this movie is just crazy. Like, they survive a lot, they team up a lot, and it's just a very heartwarming film. If you love dogs, if you're a dog lover, this is the movie for you. But because I don't have a dog, it probably didn't hit me as much as most people. It hit most people, but this movie is just all around a very feel-good film, and it really tugs at your heartstrings sometimes. The only main problem I had with this movie is the ending, but if you go watch my review, you understand why. So yeah, so Alpha is number 10 for my favorite movies of 2018. Alright, number 9 is Mortal Engines. This movie, a lot of people hated, but for me, it's probably the Justice League of this year, guys, for me. Because the reason why I say that is because last year, a bunch of people, majority of the world, hated Justice League. I loved it. I thought it was a great film. For me, personally, it lived up to the hype, and it exceeded my expectations just a little bit, guys. Just a little bit. But this movie is this year's Justice League. As like I said before about Justice League, everyone hated it, but I thought it was a good film. I didn't love it, but I just thought it was a good, solid, fun time at the theater. Another surprise like Alpha was this year. This movie, if you have nothing to do during the day, you can just pop in and have a blast watching it. I did enjoy most of the characters. I know some people didn't. My favorite character is probably that the character Stephen Lang does the motion capture for. He was great. Shulk or Shank, I believe, Sheik. Yeah. And the visuals in this movie is great too. Apart from that, this movie is just all around a fun time. I had a fun time at the theater watching this movie. It's just a very fun, enjoyable, entertaining thrill ride for the most part. But it is a good film, guys. So if you ever thought this was a bad movie, probably give it another chance and you'll understand why it's on this list, guys. Yeah. But anyway, number 9, Mortal Engines. Alright, number 8 is Maze Runner: The Death Killer. This movie I thought would be the best of the franchise, best of the trilogy, but sadly it's my least favorite. For me, it would probably be The Scorch Trials as the best of the three. In my opinion, I know some people might say the first one is the best, but for me, this film was not the best film of the franchise, guys. And like I said, Scorch Trials was. For me, this film didn't have that much action like I thought it would, and it didn't feel like there was a lot happening. Yes, there was, but it didn't feel like that epic, that intense like a finale should be. But the final act absolutely knocked it out of the park, made me care about the characters even more. And if they are making a prequel to this, which I hope they are, I can't wait to see what they do as they expand on the story of the maze and how the maze came to be and all type of stuff. But I felt as a franchise ending film, or film that ends of a franchise, it's solid. It's a good, solid ending to a franchise. It's not a great franchise ending film, but it's a good one. I enjoyed myself, but sadly, it's the least favorite out of the three. So yeah. Alright, now at number 7, we have Isle of Dogs. This is a very unique animated film that I loved watching. The voice acting is great. The stop motion animation is fantastic. This is some of the best stop motion animation I've seen, based on all these stop motion animation movies I've seen. I love this. I think I like this movie a little bit more of Kubo. Kubo and the Two Strings was a really fun film. Caroline was good. Nightmare Before Christmas is still my favorite stop motion animated movie of all time. There's no question about that. But Isle of Dogs is a very unique film. I know not many people saw this movie, but I recommend you watch this. It's a very good film. In fact, it's a very great film, I should say. And it's a unique animated film. And it might feel like it's a bit boring at first, but once you really get into the story, you really get behind the animation and the characters and the voice acting. So yeah, Isle of Dogs at number 7 on this list. So yeah. Alright, number 6 is Aquaman. Aquaman is a very enjoyable film. I just recently did a review of it. That was actually the final film I had to watch this year, guys, to wrap up my movies that I had to watch this year. And I'm so glad I got to see this year, not like next year or the start 2019, I should say. But this movie is just a blast. I loved it. At first I was like, nah, I'm not sure, but then it turned out to be great as the movie really drew to a close. And the third act is crazy. It's bonkers, like most people are saying it is. But it really delivered on the action, on some of the acting, and Jason Momoa is great as Aquaman, of course. But really, the action, the visuals, and everything else in this movie just delivered. It's not a masterpiece. It's not the best DCEU film, in my opinion. I do think Wonder Woman and Justice League are better films compared to this, but it is a great DC blockbuster, a great superhero film, and one film that, if you haven't seen, that I highly recommend you check out. So yeah. Alright, number 5 is Ready Player One, the most controversial review for my channel, guys. Yes, in other words, the reason why I said that is because I said something about nostalgia. So rather than criticizing it, I'm just gonna be nice to it for this film, for this video, and say that yes, while there was tons of references, I am sorry, I have to say this one last time to wrap up the year, guys, and to wrap up talking about this film, guys, for a very long time. Who knows, maybe I might see it again, I might buy it in the future, but as a film, I really did enjoy myself, but again, I needed a little bit more of the nostalgia, guys. But putting the DeLorean, King Kong, the dinosaur, or should I say the T-Rex from Jurassic Park, having Alan Silvestri do the score was just fantastic. It really added to the nostalgia. And also, if you listen carefully to one of the trailers at the very end, they have a little bit of Back to the Future magic added to that, like in terms of the music. So yeah, but great fun time at the theater once again. It's just a great Spielberg movie. Probably one of his best in my opinion, but that really isn't saying much because I haven't seen all of his movies yet. The last Spielberg movie I watched was what was it? Jaws. Yes, I haven't seen any of the Indiana Jones, which is, yes, I know will probably come to a shock for you guys, but I still haven't seen them, so I really have a lot of catching up to you guys. But the last movie I did see was Jaws, and I did enjoy it for what it was. Yeah, but this movie, Ready Player One, is just a blast to watch. So yeah. Alright, now let's move on to my top 4, and these are just basically super movies that I just really loved watching this year, guys. Yeah. Alright, number 4 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. This movie was great. For those of you who did not like this movie, that's fine, that's your opinion, I understand why, but for me, the stuff with the quantum realm, the action, and mainly the humor, and Paul Rudd playing this character once again, was really the highlight of this movie, guys. So yeah, but it was just a great movie experience, like a bunch of these movies was, like I said, about Aquaman and Mortal Engines, and like I just about Ready Player One before. It was just an enjoyable time at the theaters, but I really enjoyed myself mainly because of the humor and the action sequences, and anything Marvel does nowadays, I probably just love watching, guys. Yeah, but I'm still a little worried on Captain Marvel, but we'll talk about Captain Marvel when we get to that film, guys. Yeah, but Ant-Man the Wasp is just a great film, and I thought they did a really great job expanding out the story of Scott Lang, and how they introduced Wasp in this movie was great. Ghost was a good villain for the most part, and Lawrence Fishburne added to it was just all around fun, and it's great to see Michael Pena back as the character that he was playing in the first Ant-Man film. So yeah, and it's just a great film, guys. Yeah. Alright, now number 3 is Black Panther. Yes, Black Panther's on this list, guys, so you guys can take a breath of fresh air and breathe out slowly, because this movie was great. The acting was great, and the action sequences were great, and I'm surprised for a Marvel movie with not that much special effects, guys. Yes, there was, but for the action sequences, it was more like it was semi-realistic, and that's what I loved about it. It was a film about royalty and power, about revenge. It felt like a few movies before, like Lion King a bit, but at the same time, it was a different Marvel movie, and that's what I think people want to see, a more different, a more let's just say mature Marvel movie. But that really isn't saying much, because Winter Soldier and Civil War kind of did fall under that mature category of Marvel movies. But this is a great superhero film. I wouldn't consider this a blockbuster, even though it kind of is, but acting wise and action wise, it's a great film. It absolutely delivers. I think this movie should get nominated for Best Picture just because of the acting, guys. So yeah, and Michael B. Jordan is fantastic as Killmonger, probably one of the best Marvel villains I've ever seen, guys. So yeah, alright, number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, guys. Yes, this movie is also on this list, so you guys can also take a breath of fresh air and breathe out slowly, because this movie is on this list too. Yes, guys, because I loved this movie so much. I never knew how much I would love this movie until I walked out of the theater. It was Real enjoyable. I thought they did a great job with the characters. Miles Morales is a very interesting character. It's part coming of age story, part superhero blockbuster, and part romantic comedy at sometimes, guys. So yeah, but it was a great film. I enjoyed seeing Peter Parker interact with Miles in this film, guys, and seeing Gwen Stacy, aka Spider-Gwen, in this movie was great, and all the other Spider-Man people in this movie. Spider-Ham, the anime Spider-Girl, who I forgot what her actual name is in this movie, and Neo-Noir Spider-Man, voiced none other than Nicolas Cage, who I thought was great in this movie too. Everything was great in this movie, maybe just for one or two little things could have been changed, which would make it a masterpiece. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is not the best film of 2018, guys. Yes, obviously it's number 2, but it's nevertheless a great, fantastic animated film, superhero film, and movie, guys. So yeah, alright, now, my number 1 favorite movie of 2018 is, as you guessed, Avengers Infinity War. No movie this year surprised me. No movie this year shocked me, made me really angry, made my heart beating at one point when something happened to a certain character. I think you know what I'm talking about. And of course, seeing Cap for the first time when he first arrived in this movie was great. And seeing Thor arrive in Wakanda was just crazy. That was such a great scene. But really, I had a great time watching this movie, and it exceeded my expectation just because of the ending and what they did with certain characters in this movie, guys. So yeah, but the action sequences are beyond praiseworthy. I mean, I really don't have anything to say to it. The Russo brothers knocked it out of the park. If there's one director that I think, or two directors that I think, who should direct Marvel's first X-Men movie, or should I say the X-Men movie for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, for the MCU, I think it should go to the Russo brothers. They will absolutely knock it out of the park. Balancing all the characters and the villain and all that type of stuff. But they did a great job directing this movie. The score's great by Alan Silvestri once again. The acting's fantastic. The only reason why it's not a masterpiece for me is because I felt that they needed a character in this movie a lot more. In other words, I felt Hulk should have been in the movie more than just being in the opening scene. Because for me, personally, it's not an Avengers movie without having all the Avengers there. Yes, of course, Hawkeye isn't in the movie. That's a spoiler in case you haven't seen the movie yet, which you should, by the way. It's great. But Hulk is barely in this movie. He is in the start, of course, and he gets the beating of his life. Damn, that was a terrible fight for Hulk. I mean, Thanos was obviously enjoying it, beating the crap out of Hulk, but he was scared after that, which I don't blame him for not coming up. But at the same time, I really wanted to see Hulk at the very end of this movie, just interact with Thor, like he did in Thor Ragnarok, and interact with Captain America, who has a freaking beard, and he's part nomad and part badass character that he always was, guys. So yeah, Avengers Infinity War is my favorite movie of the year. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. It's not the best super movie ever. It's not better than Avengers 1, but I really, really had a great time at the theater watching this movie. So therefore, it's my favorite movie of the year. So there have you guys. All the big blockbusters that I saw this year are on this list. And yeah, this year was an interesting year for film. There were some disappointing films this year, like Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Solo, a Star Wars story, guys. But there were also some really terrible garbage films this year. So before I end up this video, very quickly, I just want to tell you what the worst movie, in my opinion, was this year, based on the movies I saw this year. And that is none other than Robin Hood. This movie, I was actually really looking forward to, but then I was just completely disappointed. And I thought Nutcracker and the Four Realms was bad. And it's funny because I saw that the same day as Robin Hood, and I was like, wow, that was not a good day for me. But the other stuff I did in the day was, yeah, obviously uh good, but that's personal stuff, whatever. But this Not Gonna Fall Realms and Robin Hood, both are terrible movies. But for me, Robin Hood is by far the worst movie of the year, based on what I've seen. There were other bad, or should I say, really awful movies this year, but this is the worst movie I've seen this entire year, guys. I gave this movie a 1 out of 10 just because of one or two action scenes that I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But apart from that, everything is bad in this movie. This movie, now that I think of it, did not need to make. And I enjoyed King Arthur Legend of the Sword, guys. Yes, I did. I enjoyed it for what it was, but this movie is just terrible. So yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's my list of my top 10 favorite movies of the year, top 10 best movies of the year based on what I've seen. I've seen 28 movies this year. Next year, I don't know how many I've seen, guys. I actually counted it's around about 28, 29. Who knows, maybe even 30 movies, depending on how I view certain movies and all that type of stuff. But hopefully next year I can see a little bit more compared to this year, guys. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this week, guys, and hope you guys have a great New Year's Day or New Year's Eve celebration with your friends and family. And stick around, because tomorrow on New Year's Day, the first day of 2019, otherwise known as January 1st, 2019, I'll be doing a list of my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2019, guys. I've actually already planned that list. In fact, I made that list before this list, guys. Yes, just because I never saw Aquaman at that time, guys. Yeah, but anyway, guys, here, hope you guys enjoyed this list, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for watching all my videos this year, guys. This is Akil. I'm signing out.